Maneva na sema PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV de osia dem yopo.
Azure Awini release, which showed that Kissi Ejabin began investigating the Oforiatta matter after that's SML, only after Oforiatta had fled from Ghana. And Kissi Ejabin had a prior relationship with Oforiatta. They have a working relationship. Kissi Ejabin once worked for Oforiatta. He can't run away from those conflicts. So what we've learned so far quickly is that, yes, you can pass a beautiful law on paper, but when you put somebody in charge and the person has conflict of interest in terms of people who are to be investigated, prosecuted, etc., the beautiful law comes to nothing. So that's why for me this ruling is sweet, because it's brought the conversation back. So how do we strengthen the Office of Special Prosecutor Law? It can never be 100% perfect, even when we amend. But then this short while we've operated, we've seen the loopholes that, oh, okay, the special prosecutor can favor his friends, his party people, his family people. So what will we do in an amendment to block those loopholes? Because right now, the law is not fit for purpose.
Should I feel frustrated and resign? In my life, when I take on the reins to do something, I do it to the best of my ability. Say I'm a unquanoma. Me de me cry about for it. Me hear the me to me. I'm reswan. Echo.
All right, you're watching Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. The show is also live on 94.1 FM. My name is Moro. I'm here with Dr. Joshua Jebuntie Zatoo, who is a lecturer in political science and also a political analyst. He is a staff, an employee of the University of Ghana, Legon. And also he has Duncan Amwa, who is the CEO of Petroleum Consumers, Chamber of Petroleum Consumers. Both of them are here. They're not partisans. They may be political, but they're not partisans, expressing their thoughts on some of the stories that the papers and the online portals have published today. Now, you know, we spoke about solar, the whole solar regime, solar power regime. Now, Samuel Brand Boabing has sent a very interesting message here. It says that the government of President Akufo-Addo constructed a solar power system at Jubilee House, which also doubles as a car park, as well as the Ministry of Energy. I hope the current government will take a cue from this initiative and expand similar projects across government agencies, military barracks, police barracks, and prisons. Corrupt individuals cannot fight corruption. Cats do not guard fish. Ghanaians deserve a special prosecutor of impeccable integrity and unquestionable impartiality. We're not interested in any aquanoma business. Some of Brian Boabin sent that message. Now, Carlos Mododo says, respect, your Monday program seems to put the NDC at a disadvantage. I know this may not be your personal doing, but rather an issue of program management. Why am I saying this? For quite some time now, it says for quite some time now, it appears that the NDC has been placed at a disadvantage because many of the people brought in as neutrals are in reality affiliated with the NPP. Some are well-known party members, while others have contested parliamentary positions on the NPP ticket. Yet such people are presented as neutrals and allowed to speak against the government. That is a balance. That's the imbalance I am referring to. But I believe this issue should be reviewed carefully. As viewers, we are smart enough to recognize when someone presented as a neutral is not truly neutral. Please, Metro TV should take another look at this matter and ensure fairness and genuine balance in these discussions. Carlos, and I say God bless you. Carlos, okay, well noted. Well noted. Carlos would look at that. And he sends me a picture of Dr. Zatoo in wearing some things. You know, when we invite people on the show, to be honest with you, we don't look at whether the person, especially for Mondays, whether the person has some affiliation necessarily within a political party or not. We look at the person's views and opinions on issues. You see, the fact of the matter is that everybody belongs somewhere, or almost everybody belongs to somewhere. That's a fact of life. But when the production team is deciding on who to bring, we don't look at, so you see, there are politicians who will always wear party T-shirts. You see them on stages, they're campaigning and they say, me, I'm MPP, me, I'm NDC, and so on and so forth. Those ones, I get it. But if somebody has some sympathies for a political tradition, but also with time exhibited or demonstrated that they can speak their mind, we don't mind if the person appears on the show. I mean, that person is a moderate, that's fine. Do you get it? So, Carlos, please bear with us. I mean, if you took someone like Dr. Zatoo, yes, he appears to be criticizing the government more, but I've also heard him a few times when he's spoken his mind independently on an issue. And so there's no mischief intended as far as this is concerned. If you look at Duncan Amoah, yes, you may say that he's been, by and large, he's been, defending this government, but he's also spoken his mind. In fact, there have been times when he's been very critical of this government as well. Take the likes of Senyo Husi, the likes of Kabila, and I can give you a host of them. So it's not necessarily whether you're NDC or MPP per se, but what do you say? What kinds of opinion you express? What your viewpoint and so on. Those are the things we look at more. Otherwise, we won't get anybody to sit on this platform. Because anybody who comes here, you can easily trace the person's connection to some political party or the other, and that becomes a problem. We're not going to have anybody on Monday, so please bear with us. But all the same, you're a viewer, you have expressed your consent. What we don't want to do is to fight you because you are consuming the product that we're churning out. We don't want to be. We don't want to put ourselves in a situation where we're saying what you're saying is excuse my language. Is something is irrelevant. We don't want to do that. We'll take your concerns, but we also have a responsibility of explaining to you how we arrive at who to appear on the show. So it's no malice intended at all. I mean, Dr. Zatoo can tell you if he's MPP, you say, well, I have sympathies for the MPP, but I speak my mind as well. My mind has not been bought. I'm not been totally compromised. Duncan Amoah can tell you that I have sympathies for the NDC, but I speak my mind. I express my mind independently. So those are the kinds of things that we do here. I beg you. It's no mischief intended at all. No ill motive, okay? If we notice that consistently somebody comes here and you're defending one political party or the other, then you can see that there's been a certain pattern. And so we may have to review the person's appearance on the show. Or the person may have to come and say, well, let's listen. I sympathize or I hobnob with this political tradition, but I'm not here on the ticket of that political party, and so I can speak my mind. That's also acceptable. Okay, so please bear with us. Bear with us, Carlos. Carlos is a very good friend of mine. He's like a big brother to me. Carlos, no, I mean, you know me. I won't. Yeah, fine. I won't do anything that would make you, because we value you. Without you, we don't have a show. Okay. Anyway. Mancha says, I'm surprised that the NDC government, which benefited from the outcomes of the work of the Office of the Special Prosecutor whilst in opposition, is now taking precipitous steps to dismantle the said office. Reset, indeed, amazing convictions. Mancha Bruce II from Takrad. Mancha, good to hear from you. So, like I said, there's the law side of this and there's the politics side of this. So, Doc, what do you make of what's happening with the relationship between the Office of the Special Prosecutor and that of the Attorney General? And the optics that all of this is playing out.
Thank you very much. You see, this is all about nothing. This drama is needless. And I must say this drama is shapeless. Because there are certain things, there are important things that we need to do. There is consensus over the most of the things that we are talking about. There's huge consensus across all political divides about the importance of this office. One, there's consensus that this office is good and should stay. There's consensus that we need an independent organization with such powers, the powers to fight corruption. There is that consensus. So I want us to proceed from there. This year, the Transparency International came out with their annual corruption perception. Ghana only moved 1%, one up. If you read part of the reasons that Transparency gave, it was because Transparency agreed or reported that there are purposive efforts to dismantle or to weaken independent anti-corruption agencies. That was part of what they said. And this is part of it. It was at the site where that parliament, the majority leader and others were threatening to yank the special prosecutor. It was a point that it was seen that Kizia Jaben was under siege. So that was what was happening. That was the message that Transparency saw, that this message from the government seem to want to purposefully weaken an anti-corruption agency. And that was how we didn't do it. These things are still happening. So it may also affect our corruption perception index. So let's look at what is the real issue. One, corruption in every country is fought by what's called you need political commitment, government commitment. You can put the best laws in the world. You can put the best institution in the world. The only ingredient, the most important and significant ingredient missing in the fight against corruption anywhere in the world is political commitment.
Okay.
Political commitment because the state is only the state that has the power, both investigative, prosecutorial, and then later confinement, punishment to detect corruption. So countries that have done very well when it comes to corruption is because that commitment has been shown that we will do it and we will punish it. These things we are doing to the OSP is chipping away at that political commitment. People will see, that's what I'm saying, that transparency cited it. I said, why is it that, why do we seem to be fighting an agency that is fighting corruption? So for me, one, that's the first thing we are doing to ourselves. We are trying to score an own goal here by doing this, because by doing this, we are moving the OSP from the sphere of public policy of anti-corruption or prosecutorial to the usual partisan NPP ADC debate. Once you do that, you are depriving it of that powerful unity around a common cause to fight corruption. We are denying that office that. When we do that, we are the losers. Because international agencies and others will always side us as they have already done. That's the first thing. So it's chipping away that political commitment. Two, that's what there's consensus.
But sorry, Doc. Isn't part of political commitment also to see the manifestation of the rule of law? Is that also part of a political commitment?
That's the second thing I'm going.
Yes.
Look, again, let's discuss this dispassionately.
Okay.
There's Parliament. And Parliament, we saw that Parliament is not in support of this office.
Okay.
There's evidence. There were moves to come up with a decision to abolish it. So that is why when you add it, majority, the ruling government owns 2/3 of Parliament, or controls 2/3 of Parliament. It had to take the intervention of the president himself to stop Parliament from doing what they wanted to do. So my point is that today, Parliament can be summoned back. As I said, they can do that. Today, the same Parliament with the 2/3 majority and with the minority can go to Parliament and say, let's amend this bill. I don't know the nitty-gritty, but I think Parliament can do it. Or I don't know whether it's one of those that it's not an entrenched.
It's entrenched. It's not.
So
88 is entrenched. 88
No,
is
he's not
entrenched.
talking about 88. He's talking about the act that establishes the office of the special prosecutor,
yes,
right? Yeah,
yes.
not
Or
88.
whatever you have to
And they
do.
can only repeal it.
You can.
You
can't
no,
repeal-
they can be amended. 959 can be amended. It can be reviewed.
To now work against 88, because 88.
Well,
is
no,
the
that's
issue.
not his point.
No, what I'm saying is that
it can be tweaked
whatever you can
to achieve
do,
whatever objective is another matter.
whatever
But it can be
objective
tweaked.
that we are trying to
Yes.
say. I can just say, can we say that authorization from the AG is implied?
Yes.
Is there a way to write it in? What I'm saying is that Parliament can do that. They can do that today. They can be summoned today. That summoning will show political commitment. We've seen bills pass through even this lopsided house through state of emergency. Again, it speaks of what? Commitment. So here the optics will look good. Even if it's just optics. That look, a big issue has come up. Parliament, let's come back from our Easter break. Easter is gone. And say, hey, how do we protect this office? It does well in our international standing. It does well in saying that we have, let me say, a defective organization that has a good mandate, that has good intentions. We are committed to do whatever it takes to protect that office and make it work. That is the message you have been sending.
I have bad news for you. Under the circumstances, Parliament is helpless. Parliament has done what it ought to do.
Parliament is what?
Or Parliament has done what it ought to do.
Yes. No, but you mean that there's
The
nothing
office
else
is
they can do? No, they cannot amend 88?
No, because you see, 88
It's entrenched.
is an entrenched.
Entrenched, you can also, you mean
referendum.
once something is entrenched.
Yes.
Exactly, but
That's good to referendum.
the process has to start somewhere.
Yes.
Two, let's also go back to this point. Can Parliament then say that we can come up with a way to make sure that this is, again, implied this is given, so that the Attorney General is done? Let's go back, let's move to the third point I'm saying. Who benefits from this? The scenario we've just created, who benefits from it?
The citizens.
Right now, as we sit down here, no,
Yes.
it's not the citizens.
Because no,
The
it's the
Attorney Gen-
citizen who took the matter to court. Have you forgotten?
The Attorney General, that office is
Yes.
currently prosecuting people.
Yes.
The amount of money the office is trying to recoup is in excess of billions of cedis,
Yes.
if not those.
Yes.
That is what the state stands to run. That is fighting corruption. So one, the office is doing what it set out to do. It is working. The number of people under investigation and the number that are actually standing corruption, if they gain convictions and if they make the money, the country will be better off. It will equal oral. I see that there should be a commitment to say that what oral stood for as an idea, as a principle, and what the OSP is doing are complementary. That in order to make oral achieve its objectives, then we need to make sure that the office of the OSP are working hand in hand. And they're doing that because the amount of money, if you just look at some of the investigations they are doing and the prosecution, they can do this. Any attempt, therefore, to weaken OSP is an attempt to render oral useless.
Yeah, but you see,
Any attempt to do that, you're also doing.
No,
you're
see,
not fair.
Dr. Zatoo, I think it's important that we place this conversation in its proper context
Yes.
or perspective. Help me understand how a Ghanaian who is being prosecuted by the office of the special prosecutor then says that, okay, whilst we even delve into the substantive issue as to whether I'm guilty or innocent, I want to go to the court and test whether indeed you, this office, okay, have the powers or the authority to prosecute me as given by the Attorney General's office. That's a Ghanaian. An individual has a right to go to court.
Okay.
Okay. Now, help me understand how this right, which has been exercised by a Ghanaian, how does that mean that the state intends to weaken another state institution? I'm trying to get the next.
No, I just say instead by actions and inactions.
someone.
I've said if you go back, that's what I'm saying. That let's not ignore the history
Okay.
of attempts to even completely close the office by the majority in Parliament.
How does it come in?
No, it comes in because all these attempts. We've all said that if you take this power, it remains a husk.
Right.
It doesn't. It is of no use. The same thing would have happened if the bill had been passed in Parliament. Both of them would have rendered it into it ceased to exist. So that's what I'm saying. That when you see that, and that is what Transparency International or those were the things they read, and that was the conclusion they came to, and that affected our standing. So you see, I'm drawing a link here, but I'm saying right now, look, how do we make sure that, and I'm saying who benefits from these things? The people that are being investigated, the same people that we think that they are doing corruption.
Okay.
If this multi-million dollars, if no cities, is recouped, the states get better. It also serves as a warrant or a warning to people who intend to be. A powerful OSP is a threat to those in power. Let's put it that because our corruption targets public office holders.
Yeah, but nothing stops the OSP from proceeding to do what they want to do.
And then do what?
Nothing
Then
stops
go
them.
back to the same Attorney General.
All you
so
need to
we
do-
are going back to what we're saying. But then, if somebody gives the person can take it back.
Yeah, but whose fault is it?
Good. Policymakers. I would say policymakers.
Yes.
Good. Now, so again, then let the same policymakers find a solution. I want to go back to the third point. Today. Then I think what we should do is this.
Yes.
Why can't the Attorney General or the OSP write to the Attorney General and say get a license and then start these prosecutions? The OSP feels that if they do that, the idea of neutrality is compromised.
I agree.
The idea today, and now support that because if the central idea is that let's move away from politicians, let's get somebody neutral, how do they fix it? I believe that there is a way to make sure that even if it means dangling with, look, I will not move away from it. If it means dealing with that entrenched clause, if it means it is a referendum, because that is when something we then got to test whether Ghanaians are really resolved to fighting corruption. The government can and should lead this. If it means saying that, look, we have a stumbling because there's a consensus, CSOs, media, independent organizations. Let me say government and opposition, we all agree that office is important and critical. If there is that consensus, what prevents the government from saying, okay, if Article 88 is the stumbling block, let's tackle it. Let's, what's the name? Let's do it. It doesn't matter what it will take. If it's a referendum, it also shows a counter result against something. We will not do that because, you see, so now we conflate the office with the office holder. And right now, we are conflating the office with Kisi Ajabeng. And there's so much vitriol against Kisi Ajabeng, so much so that people are not prepared to look beyond Kisi Ajabeng to make the office work better.
Right.
Look, I'm saying this because we have been down this route. I remember when Shraj investigated people under Jerry Rolex. Remember that incident? Found them, because people couldn't believe that a Shraj was appointed by Jerry Rolex will investigate. That was a mail shot.
Yeah.
Shraj was powerful then. From that time on, the wings of Shraj has been clipped. I would say that the wings of Shraj is now like a paper tiger. Since that high-profile investigation, I'm here to see Shraj do a similar thing under all the administrations. I think we were nibbling at the edges, slowly but gradually rendering Shraj, in my perfect opinion, impotent in the fight against corruption and maladministration. I am afraid that we are doing a similar thing, or we are begin to do a similar thing, either knowingly or knowingly, to the OSP.
Yeah.
That this nibbling at its powers, this idea we are doing, and they are being done by very smart people, very smart lawyers, very powerful people, very powerful lawyers. And there is something they stand to achieve or to obtain because of this. A powerful, a neutral, independent OSP is not in the interest of powerful policymakers.
It is the reason why, Dr. Zatoo, right from the get-go.
Yes.
It is the reason why, right from the get-go.
Yes.
When this matter came up, as far back as in 2017, when Parliament was debating this matter,
yes,
I don't know whether Bright has that video.
Yeah.
This matter came up.
Yes.
Because there were lawyers who were of the firm belief and conviction that there was no way anybody, any institution can enjoy that independent prosecutorial powers you're talking about.
For us,
it's not possible.
Fortunately, I agree with you. Fortunately for us, now we have about 5 years, or how many years, to see it in action, right?
Yes.
We've done. So we
from 2018 to now. So that's almost 8 years.
Now the challenges are no more hypothetical.
Yes.
They're real.
Yes.
We can now say, okay, we gave birth to the baby. Now we've seen what the baby can do or cannot do.
Yes.
Maybe it's time we give the baby more powers. Now we can do it. My point is that sometimes creating these institutions becomes the difficult, the challenging thing. Sometimes getting them running becomes a problem. We've done that. They are running down. We've seen it. We can now say that based on what we've seen, this is what we need to do, A, B, C, D to get you better. That is where we are now. We've moved away from its creation, the debates. We've now seen it in action. We can now sit down and say, okay, if the problems are legal, let's deal with legal issues.
Good.
If the problems are parliament, let's deal with those.
So the options that are available to us now, it's quite clear to all of us.
Yes.
The options are just two.
Good.
You either live with the status quo, and the status quo means that anytime the office of the Attorney General intends to prosecute, it must go to Dr. Yeni and Justice and say, look, I want to prosecute Zatoo. Should I go ahead? They say, yes, go ahead. That's one. Okay, let me go to the Kanam one.
He's a big man.
So I want to prosecute the Kanam one.
Yes.
Can I go ahead? He says, yes, go ahead. That's one option.
Yes.
And the second option is to say, let's collapse the office.
No.
Because if you don't...
I refuse.
No.
There's a middle ground.
Hold on. If Kisi Ajabeng does not want to seek authorization because he disagrees, and he's entitled to that disagreement. Now, if Kisi Ajabeng does not agree and so decides that, look, I want to go Swomoto, as the lawyers will say, and do my own thing, he would have been in conflagration of the law. In fact, that is why the High Court judge, says all the cases that you're prosecuting, take your hands off. Send them back to the Attorney General's office.
Moro,
of course, there are other issues there.
Let me come
because you know the same office of the special prosecutor has actually filed, has entered the knowledge prosecutor in some cases in the past. Now the question people are posing or asking now is that what has happened to all those cases?
Okay, so let me come to what you're saying. I disagree with that premise. Your premise is that one, either we get
seek the permission,
permission, or we should it should be leave it as So that is door number one, door number two.
Yes.
There's door number three. What is behind door number three?
What's door number three?
Repeal or reform, amend the entrenched clause.
And I'm saying that until and unless we do that,
we can do that now. So my point is
take time.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Let's start now. Because you see, it takes time. Doesn't it cannot be done. My point is that if corruption is the biggest anti-development thing in this country, if we all agree that it's the one that is depriving people healthcare, school education, then it's worth doing. And if it means doing now, it doesn't matter how long it takes, because fortunately the good thing is that Parliament is lopsided. So some of these things can be sped up.
Yeah.
If it means spending time, and as I said that, such a referendum, if it comes to that, also tests our common will. We want to see those who go out and vote and campaign against it.
Right.
We want to see those who go out and say, don't do this. My point is,
So
if
Ghanaians
you
should
give
be given. So Ghanaians should be given an opportunity.
all of us,
To state
but
emphatically
somebody,
whether they are against or
thank
for
you.
corruption.
Somebody must give them that opportunity. That person here is policymakers, it's government, it's parliament.
Yeah.
Let's do that, because if we give Ghanaians, if we leave these two options you mentioned, they are only at the prelude of what? Policymakers.
Yeah.
And we know what they will choose, because it is not in their interest to have such a powerful independent organization looking about every action they are taking.
All right. Duncan, I'll bring you in. And I, from the look of things, it looks like you may have to end because we have just 10 minutes to go. So let me just do this before you come, because I don't want to interrupt when you start your submission on this matter. Let me continue to remind our viewers that MNC Group is your number one partner when it comes to minerals and food commodity trading, real estate development, general logistics, procurement, management consultants, investment advisory, import and export. It has headquarters in East Legon. It has one in Dubai. It has one in Hong Kong, Guangzhou in China, Johannesburg in South Africa. There's also one in Virginia, United States of America. Arezzo in Italy, Hanover in Germany. We connect markets. Essentially, that's what we do. We connect markets that drive business growth with tailor-made solutions that meet your needs. So trust us to maximize your value in every deal. So reach us on MNC Group, mncgroupgh.com, or call us on 0302 998 246, 0302 998 246, or 026 5505 5505 337, or 056 103 2252. MNC Group, totally reliant. And then also, Duncan, can you give your submission just 5 minutes so that I can use the rest of the time, because I have about 10 messages. Or you want me to do the messages quickly before you come in, so that when you start, you end the show with us.
No
Which
problem.
one? Whichever one.
The host discretion.
That's fine. No, you're my brother, so I need to give you some flexibility. So let me look at it. So Simmons, who is the managing editor of the Accra Times, he says that Mr. Zatoo mentioning a high-profile case that OSP started and prosecuted successfully. Isn't it sad for some people to make it look as if it's the government that has gone to court to strip the prosecutorial powers of the OSP? And it says, Now, Mr. Alhaji Dauda says, good morning, Alhaji. This case of the OSP is being handled to curb a loophole that has been created for the NPP. Imagine the former finance minister comes back and after being tried for 3 years, and at the end of the trial, he triggers this issue that there's a mistrial because the OSP does not have them a mandate. What happens in court where one of them is a judge? They have created all these loopholes for themselves. The Supreme Court can decide, and that loophole will be sealed. Now, Hamza from Pig Farm. Hamza, how are you? Good to hear from you. Good morning, my brother. As much as I agree with you, but a journalist like you should stop introducing Mr. Zatoo as a political analyst and a political lecturer, and introduce him as a member of the communication team of the NPP. This is a person who has contested to become an MP on the ticket of the NPP in the upper West region, and the records are still out there for all to see. So let's call a spade and stop beating around the bush. Moro, is Dr. Zatoo aware of the unfortunate words that was used by Martin Amidou against our former president, Nana Ado Dankwa-Akufo? According to him, President Nana Ado is the mother serpent of corruption who is stopping him from fighting corruption in this government. What about that? He should answer me. Now, Charles he's watching us from Nigeria, and he says that operating within the confines of the law is one of the legacies of every legal system. I hope you remember all the brouhaha that arose from the attempt to use fast-track high court to prosecute Achuchi Kata. We're back to it, and we'll continue to revolve in this cycle if we continue to argue about asking people to overlook the weaknesses of foundation to build. If the OSP has not been properly enabled, let that process be achieved. If not, we will continue to use sentiments to weaken our legal system and continue to set precedents where people can do the right thing without enablement, without realizing that the OSP actually cannot act. Sam Aku Kelly says, Mora beg, say a big thanks to a big alabaraka to what you just said concerning the political neutrality of Dr. Zatoo on your program and many other programs. Dr. Zatoo has consistently and openly defended the stance of the NPP, and we shouldn't be seen to be embellishing this fact. There has been occasions where he's been observed to be visibly turning up in his seat just because something unfavorable is being said about the NPP by his colleague panelists. Viewer observation is key. Please let's not attempt to dismiss that for official expediency. Musa from Abattoir says that, Musa Abattoir from Kumasi says that from Asawase, let me rather put up Kumasi, Asawase, Article 88 of the Constitution gives the Attorney General full authority over criminal prosecutions, while Section 4 of the OSP also the OSP Act also assigns similar prosecutorial functions to the OSP. This overlap makes the office redundant. Therefore, in my respectful view, the office has outlived its usefulness and should be scrapped so the taxpayers' money can be redirected in more impactful areas of national development. However, Godfrey Dami should be the last person to criticize judges, a person who has blah, blah, blah. Oh, I beg you, I don't want anyone to take us to court. Africa Trido says that, good morning, Moro, and to your cherished viewers. Quite interesting to note that when Majority Leader Honorable Mahama Yaraga and Majority Chief Whip Honorable Dapi Amako sponsored a bill in Parliament against the Office of the Special Prosecutor, General Secretary of the NDC, Honorable Fifi Fiavikwete, came up publicly to say that what the two MPs were doing was not the NDC party position. His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama also advised the MPs to allow the OSP office to work. However, President Mahama cannot dictate to the court of Ghana. Article 88 of the 1992 Constitution is clear on the office of the OSP. This is coming from Tradles. And I'm going to end with Master Planner Jr. from Kintampo. Now, he says that Dr. Zatoo has said it all. The OSP Act itself shoots the SP in his own foot. I'm not a lawyer, but read the Constitution and act carefully. Section 4.1 of the OSP Act states that the office is not subject to direction or control of a person or an authority in its performance of its functions, except in otherwise provided in the Constitution. Now, the Constitution, i.e. Articles 88.4, also gives only the Attorney General powers to prosecute, and any other person can also prosecute if the AG gives out a fiat to do so. This doesn't make the OSP an independent body. In this case, do we have to change? Do we have to change the name of the Special Prosecutor to Special Investigator? Perhaps. Why not? Because I don't get it if he bears the same prosecutor but cannot prosecute until he requires a fiat from the Attorney General. I think we should either amend Article 88 of the Constitution to give the Special Prosecutor power to prosecute, or scrap the Office of the Special Prosecutor completely. Master Planner Junior Policy Analyst from Kintampo. Yes, please go ahead. Duncan, in 5 minutes we'll take us off, so please, please do this for me. Yes, please go ahead.
Moro.
Your thoughts?
Moro, in 5 minutes, I'll attempt to deal with this on the basis of legality, the basis of mandate of OSP, neutrality and fairness, and then again, what the OSP has been able to achieve so far. Legality, there's clearly, a lot surrounding the creation of that office, and I say this without equivocation, that we are in a hurry, oftentimes, to just create institutions,
right,
hand them powers that originally they should not have. And then we turn around to ask questions of the Constitution. The Constitution existed. Article 88 predated the creation of the OSP. And so if you need to create the OSP's office, and you are quite sure that 88 is a stumbling block. If Parliament at the time felt there was a need to work around 88, they should have done so before bringing into effect this amorphous creation that today seem not to have given us the results that we wanted, but is consuming public resources gravely.
Right.
Question of mandate to investigate and to prosecute as a way of corruption and corruption-related offences.
Yeah.
You'll be asking whether this mandate is not one that is already enshrined with the IOCO statutes. That is also even with the BNI, Bureau of National Investigation. That is also with the CID, Police CID. That is also with even Shraj, as you rightly captured. So if you had institutions whose mandates, right, could cut across, investigating and prosecution of such corruption and corruption-related offences, then you go back to the question of what we really sought to do with the OSP, to grant a certain body a certain autonomy to behave as though it were independent, when in practice it cannot be, because the Constitution originally has granted powers to the Attorney General that you cannot just by the stroke of a pen or by the consensus of some members of Parliament, wish away. Again, let's talk about neutrality and fairness. Dr. Zatoo made points that I disagree with vehemently. That the OSP's existence is beneficial to oral.
Yeah.
The OSP did not come, at the outset of the current government. The OSP has existed, had predated this government, right? A lot of the corruption instances that we mention in this country, talk of the National Cathedral, talk of Kelny GVG, talk of all the things that civil society platforms had raised questions about.
Okay.
What did the OSP do about them? Right? Are we saying that the OSP did not exist, right?
Yeah.
During the previous government regime, and so for Dr. Zatoo to say that currently the OSP is a threat to the current government, I disagree. It was no threat to the former government. It cannot be a threat to the current government because clearly its mandate and powers and the object of neutrality and fairness has been lost to the OSP long ago. You would hear a lot about that they have raided certain things. You would expect cases to be followed through. At the end of the day, nothing comes out of it. So it's become more or less a weaponized institution that decided. My outburst happened when it decided to.
PENDREAM TV. Now, so far so good. Say open online portal le Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.